Good morning. Here's a little tour of the garden. We have our herb tower done. We had a tremendous amount of rain yesterday, as you can see by the filled pots of water here. Our big feature is done. I've got some mulch that's going to be spread today now that we've had all of the rain. I've done all sorts of beautiful little succulent arrangements, and we have birds singing, the fountains out, as well as the additional plantings that go with it. All of these baskets have been done, and I'll just take you into the rest of the yard here. Need to trim this tree. I've got some pretty features, colorful pots that I've arranged. We're trying impatiens again this year to see how it goes. Here's another little spot that we've created. Have all different views and arrangements that I've made. Each one's a little bit different. So come on over here. This bird bath is getting heavy use from the birds that have been joining us lately. Over here we have some more arrangements. This one is filled with wave petunias. It's going to just spill over. Really liking this little arrangement in here. Got another bird bath. Gets dirty pretty quickly here. And I have a hydrangea that this lady gave me on the street. So I'm waiting to see what happens with it. I'm hoping I can make it work. Back here in this dark little corner, I actually have a dry riverbed, and it leads to a culvert. So I tried to make it as pretty as possible. If you can see, I've also added in a little nuckshuck. This tree, this is a purple sand cherry. It's a standard, it's beautiful. It has a sister over here, which unfortunately died last year, so I need to take that out. Just to give you a view how we sit here at the garden. The gardens are edged in lamb's ears. Very, very soft gray plant. Over here, we've got some more purple sand cherries. And this is the pit. It gets very wet and full of weeds. I had this dream when I built it that I would sit back in there and have this total private area. Another little pathway. So it leads you around here. Got some dogwood and some sumac, and back in the corner there what you're seeing are my mother-in-law's word will come to me, peony. This tree here is just a weed. We cut it back every year and it grows crazy. This was the magnolia tree. We have some asparagus that's growing here. And then back up through the other side, there's that mulch I was referring to that needs to be done. Another view of the big feature pot and all the hostas that sit underneath it. Another little arch. I'll take you over to the side. I overwintered this creeping Jenny right here. The tulips that you see that are coming up are O Canada. They're a little late because I planted them in the pot in the spring, so they're taking a little bit more time to come up. This fern over here, what I do is I buy the ferns. They're quite expensive, and I saw them, so I get them about 4 out of each one. You can come along here, and there's always a project. This particular arch needs to be taken down and redone. Nice little pot. As you look up here to my side entrance, I have more of those cute little succulent arrangements. I have a very pretty little arrangement here. A little gnome, because every garden needs a gnome. There's a hanging pot. Of course, boots. and I'll take you on the rest of the tour. All through the garden here, we're just sort of retracing our steps here. We have hostas, and we have all sorts of lilies of the valley. In this corner here, I actually tried an experiment of a vinca, lilies of the valley, and a pachysandra to see who would win. Lily of the valley in this yard seems to be the winner, although the vinca seems to be doing good as well. Give you another sort of view of what it looks like coming down. This is what you see as you come along here. There's always more gardening to do. I have just a little bit more. I had a lot of my lavender die off this year, so having to replace it. We also had to replace a few boards on our deck. There's always a project on the go. No garden is ever finished. I also this year had to take the hammock down. I give it a really good wash in the bathtub. It was such a mess. It was all filled with scale. So I took it down and I put it in some soap and some borax. It came a lot cleaner, but as you can see, still a bit of dirt on it, so I might have to give that another go with a power washer. So just coming through here, I have another little walkway that you can go through in there. It's pretty wet, so I just wanted to show you that little feature where it's a garden or a fire gate, and I took that down and sprayed it yellow so it would have a little contrast in the corner there. You can see how heavy it rained. Everything has just sort of fallen down. More archways. This is all geranium. It grows particularly well under the horse chestnut. It's very, very dry under here, so to have something that grows well is such a delight. We're coming into our vegetable area, and right here I have my hose, and I also have some kale. I've got another thing of kale here. I've got tomatoes. Here's our little vegetable patch. We have different types of lettuces, some arugula, some chard, and we're looking forward to harvesting that. I have more tomatoes. I received this garden bench from a friend of mine, and up here I have all sorts of succulent babies that I call it the nursery, and we're trying to see which ones are going to grow. A lot of succulents you can, and hens and chicks, they don't necessarily need roots, but they can give you a new life. I'm going to just take you into the front here. If I can get the gate open, sorry about that. Alright. Another little pot. Some white bleeding hearts. And then I've got another little planter. Show ya. We've got some cut leaf elderberries. That's the beautiful black looking plant. Some cedars. A lot more really pretty bleeding hearts. This, in case you've never seen one, is a tree peony. These blooms are so big, just to give you an idea of scale. I mean, they'll grow as big as my hand. It took a real beating in the rain. Over here, it's a Acer japonica, nice cut leaf one, and I've got some variegated irises. And just take a look at how beautiful those tulips are. You can see the peonies are getting ready. Some more beautiful things. This year's been a really crazy year for the Norway maples and their droppings. Just to give you an idea. More of the peonies. I like to use a lot of sedums. Got more irises that are going to be blooming. This is a purple smoke tree. This is my curb garden. It needs to be weeded big time. And I'll just sort of take you up to the front steps here, show you what this is like. My dad made me this pretty archway. This is an incredible looking clematis that's got purple flowers and the whole thing blooms. I don't think I cut it back hard enough this year. Another view. This is my front yard spot. I moved the pots over for the rain so that they could get as much rain as possible. Anyways, that's the tour of the garden. I really do hope that you appreciated all the little nuances. I'll share with you throughout the year how it looks in different seasons.